with video number 2, and I'm so excited. I just want to say thank you to everyone who have subscribed so far. I think right now we have 27 followers right now, subscribers, I'm sorry. And I'm really excited about that. I know it's not a lot, but I really do appreciate the support. And so we decided that we're going to be doing videos every Monday and Friday. And so we're going to definitely try to be consistent. So on Monday, we want to do just motivational videos.
Yeah, and like a Monday motivation.
Monday motivation, and just let y'all have a little glimpse into what we've been doing as far as like trying to get closer to God as a family. My husband a long time ago found this app. It's just the regular Bible app, but it has plans and devotions, y'all, and I'm obsessed because whenever we're dealing with something, my husband, he'll send me a little invite and he'll say, Christopher is inviting you to such and such plan. And I think we did one on marriage or something like that. And it's just really good because oftentimes, sometimes we're going through a lot and sometimes we don't know where everything is in the Bible. So it's like just having these devices, I'm telling you, they are good because you can just look at something and look up what is good scriptures for anxiety, and they'll pull up so many things for you. So I feel like it's been a major blessing for us. So we decided to choose the devotional, and it's called Stuck in Reverse. And I shared briefly on my page about why I was looking into this particular devotion. And so we had to basically learn God over for ourselves. We couldn't keep on knowing, what we knew when we grew up. So we wanted to get deeper. And I told my husband, I said, I'm tired of doing things on my own. Like, I feel like we're floating. And we both agreed, like, just living a life without God being at the center. It just became to the point where it's like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
So I talked to my husband. I said, I found this devotional, and the title is called Stuck in Reverse. And so while we go on this journey, I just wanted to share a little bit of our journey, our devotions and what we do and how it helps us get closer to God. So I'm just going to read a tiny little bit of the devotion and then we can talk about it. So it says, God will change your directions. And it says, most of us know what it feels like to be lost while driving in an unfamiliar city or neighborhood. One moment we're traveling along without any problem. The next we're headed off course. The reality can be denied. We've taken a wrong turn and are moving in the opposite direction of where we need to be. If we continue, we'll venture even further away from our final destination. At this point, we have to stop, double check our map, and figure out how to turn around to get into the right direction. That's good. We have the same experiences as we travel the road of life. If you feel as though you are lost and have been traveling for some times in reverse, I want to assure you, God can change your direction. However, you must be willing to listen for his voice and obey his call, no matter how difficult the challenge may seem or how dark your sins appear. God loves you and wants to guide you to a place of hope and restoration. Wow.
Yeah.
Like, when we read this, y'all, it took everything in me not like to hold back the tears, because when I read it, I was like, Chris, this is us. Like, we were able to, the first thing that I feel like we were able to do is be honest with each other and say that we had taken a wrong path. And we had to identify why we took a wrong path. And I don't know if you want to share a little bit about that, but we had discussed the fact that we had walked away from the church. A lot of people have experienced church hurt. And it's one of the hardest things I would say you'll ever have to go through, because I felt like we were on fire for God. Like, my husband, he's a very quiet person. But when he was in church, he was excited. Every Sunday, he was like, babe, I got to get to church because I got to be on time. And sometimes things can happen in church and it can kind of separate us. But I shared with people on our social media, it should never separate you from your relationship with God. At one of the toughest junctures of his life, the Apostle Paul wrote, I do not regard myself as having laid hold God's goals. Yet But one thing I do, forgetting what lies behind and reaching forward to what lies ahead, I press on towards the goal of the prize of upward call of God in Christ Jesus. This is one of my favorite scriptures, and I always say this because a lot of the times we can look back on the things that we've done and how we've separated ourselves from God, and we can beat ourselves up about that. We have the choice to either beat ourselves up about that or push forward and move forward. And I feel like I'm glad that we just sat down and we just said, look, this is not working anymore. And I feel like it comes a time where you have to acknowledge the fact that you trying to live on your own, it's not working, right? Like you try to do everything. I feel like you just think that you are the one who can create your life and make it what you want it to be.
It's like you try to take it's basically like you're creating your own path that you think you should have when God already had one for you.
Exactly. And that's what we were finding. And honestly, I feel like the only way you can really change that is if you get sick and tired. And I told my husband, I said, I am tired. Like just floating through life. And I noticed that when we would sit down and we would pray, we do our devotions together. So he'll read it on his time, I'll read it on my time, we'll come back and discuss it. And I started to see like peace come over me. I started to see my eyes open clear and start looking at stuff. I even started to hear God speak to me, because I'm going to be honest, for a long time, I felt like God did not speak to me. And a lot of the times when you are a believer, you get like in the routine. You get like in the routine of going to church, going to Bible study, going here. But there is, I'm not going to say it's dead, but sometimes we have to reactivate our faith. And God speaks about that countless amount of times in the Bible, where we have to stir up the gift that he says. We have to stir it up. So we can't let things lie dormant. And so even in our marriage, and this is why I tell people who are married, one of the important things is being equally yoked. And we always talk about that, because it's hard when, you know, you may be the person who believes in God and you have faith, and you may not have a partner who has that same feeling. But me and my husband, the benefit and how God is so good is we both grew up in the church. So we know who God is, right? We know what he can do. We've seen him work for our family. We've seen him work for our parents. And so we had to sit down and make that decision ourselves and say, you know what? We want better for our family. We want to put God at the center. And one of the things I'll never forget when we got married, the pastor who married us told us that a 3-chord bond, or a 3-chord,
I can't remember.
I think it's a 3-chord bond is not easily broken. And you know, when you first get married, we was on fire. Like, we was going to church, we was serving God. But after that time, you know, you kind of let things go by. Life happens. You go through trials and tribulations. And it's like you forget that third person in your marriage is God.
Yep.
And when you get upset with each other, and when you fussing, y'all going to each other head to head, not really realizing that God should be at the center. And so I really thank God for the way that he's working in me and my husband's life, because we're able to stop and just be like, look, what does God say about certain things? Because a lot of the times when we're upset, we act in our own way.
Yeah, we do.
We don't think, what does God think? Or what did they used to say? What would Jesus do?
Yeah.
We don't do that. We act on our own. And so I'm glad that God has been telling me and my husband, like, basically sin and conviction. And when you like dive deeper into that relationship with Christ, he will convict you. Whenever I'm doing something or speaking to my husband some way that I shouldn't be, or whenever I know I have done something wrong, or being unkind, or not using the fruits of the Spirit, there's that little nudge that say, that's not what I want you to do. Mm-hmm. I expect more from you. I want you to do this. So it's like just getting into that relationship. And I told my husband, like, we can't have a good relationship with each other if we don't have a good relationship with God, because God said it's like a trickle down effect. He teaches me how to treat my husband. He teaches my husband how to treat me. There's times where sometimes I don't know how to go to my husband and talk to him about stuff. That's when I'm praying and seeking God and saying, God, how can I go to him so that he can be receptive of the message? Is there something you want to say? I know I was talking a lot.
No, you good. Yeah.
But I just, you know, and y'all will know I'm a talker. I have the gift of gab. If you don't know what gift of gab means, that means a person who talks a lot. I love to talk. And my husband doesn't love to talk, but it's just when it comes down to God and the way that he's been enlightening me and the way that he's been directing our path, it's like I tell my husband all the time, I'm ready for God to blow my mind. But the only way that God can blow our mind and do us and bless us among, above imagination is us putting him solely at the center of our marriage. And so we just wanted to share that little nugget or, positive affirmations, motivation, all of that from our devotion today. I absolutely love the devotions. If you are married, if you are single, if you are whatever, get a good devotional, get a good routine to where you are studying the Bible every day, because it really helps you. And I tell people, when I get up in the morning and I read my devotional, I feel like I can go out in the world and conquer anything. And I know that sounds crazy, but I'm equipping myself. And every single time we go out into this world, because we know this world is crazy, we have to be fully equipped. God tells us to put on the full armor of God so we can withstand everything that's going on in the earth. So I just want to say thank you all for watching. I really hope that this blesses someone, helps someone. Thank you guys for watching. If you all are interested in the app or anything, have any questions, let us know. If you have some ideas that you want to see on the channel, let us know. I just want to say thank you 1,000 times for supporting us, and we can't wait to put out more videos for you all. Bye.